What's going on, guys? Welcome to Mountain Motorsports in Roswell, and today the Ducati XDiavel S is going to get a first ride. Kind of cruisery, kind of crazy torquey from what I've heard, and it has one of them little proximity keys. Check it out. It's gonna be proximity. Alright, let's get this thing started. I can't. Yeah. Alrighty, so first off, this Ducati, what the hell? Like, how am I can't, whatever. Okay, we're in neutral. Let's get on this thing. Oh, what's up, guys? We're joined by a little baby session over here. This seat, did you guys see the seat? I don't know how it's so comfortable. Look at that little thing. Okay. Whatever, the seat's super comfortable. Let's get her cranked up. Oh goodness, this one's gonna be fun. We are at a hardcore cruiser mode right now, ladies and gentlemen. Like, my feet are gonna be up front. That's gonna be weird. Also, this bike is belt driven. It's not chain driven like most bikes are. Looks like that. We got cruise control. We're in sport. I'm gonna play around with the menu real quick. Urban. Okay, so we're in urban mode now. There's 3 modes. I'll be changing the modes throughout, but oh god, that's so weird. Oh, the clutch is nice. The clutch is right at the end of the. It's a very, like, the clutch engages instantly. Is what I'm trying to say. Oh, this feels so weird. So weird. My hands, look how far look at that. My arm can barely turn this whole thing. My body has to go forward with this. Alrighty, 2016 XDiavel S. I think there's a couple modifications to the S model that we're on today from the regular XDiavel, but it should be relatively the same bike. And we're in urban mode again. This is going to be the more chill mode. God, where's my foot supposed to go up under there? Oh, we got a cop. Oh god. Don't do anything stupid, Chase. So in person, when you're just looking at the bike, it looks pretty big, but being on it, it really does not feel big at all. Gear shifting felt real good. I guess it's because of the cluster and the gas tank is so low, the bike really doesn't feel that big. Looking over my shoulder, a little difficult because of the position that this bike is. I don't like how close these are, man. Turning it on, you guys could tell I was having a rough time with that. It's not the greatest time. Now, the last Ducati I rode was the 2016 Monster 821, and I found out with that bike, riding it slowly in urban mode was much nicer than riding it in sport mode in a position like this. This isn't uncomfortable, but with the seat so small, I feel like I need more. I feel like I need more support, or maybe you're supposed to ride it more aggressive like this. Because right now my feet are in front of me, which makes me automatically want to kind of lean back, like if I was riding on the highway. But leaning back like this, you can see my arm is fully extended and I can barely reach the handlebar. I don't really feel like I'm in a chill position. I don't feel natural right now. This feels way more natural, like being leaned up a little bit and forward. That's surprising how much it'll go back and forth though. Obviously, I don't want to go do a track day with this, even though I will say, just as a quick note, I was at a track day one time, and in like the top level class, the fastest guys on the track, there's a guy with a Diavel there, and he was smoking everybody. So I know this bike is capable. All right, now I wonder if I can change modes while I'm going. Can I do that? So let's get up here and stop real quick, get in neutral. There's a gear indicator, that's nice. Will it get in neutral? It will, okay. GG. All right, can I go up and down? Oh, okay, I can, and now I'm holding this sideways. And now we're in touring mode. Okay, so what is touring mode? Touring mode is engine in medium. DTC stands for Ducati traction control. It's in 4. Dang it, menu. And then ABS is at 3. So we got ABS, we got traction control. With a bike this expensive, you kind of should expect that kind of stuff. We got some pretty cool badging here. Love the coloring. I love Italy in general. Got a fuel indicator. We even got a gas light up there. So in case you're just oblivious to this. All right, the legs in front, I'm just not used to. Good. Okay. All right, so if you want the bike to go, it will go. Holy cow! And we're only in touring. We're not even in freaking in sport mode yet. Holy snap! I'm kind of scared. My butt's gonna slide off this thing. Oh, that's gonna be terrifying when that day happens. Okay, all right. This bike's, the way it puts the torque on is not good for the tiny baby seat that this bike has. The bike has too much torque to not have a seat where you have to strap into it. One thing I love, do you guys see the little outlines of these buttons? It's like red. It looks legit. Man, that engine braking feels really good. It's not too strong, but it comes on really well. I hope to Christmas I can put this thing no, not, I want it in sport. I want it in sport. I want it in sport. All right, it's in sport mode. We're getting on the highway. Okay, alrighty. Let's shift down because it's a Ducati. Don't get in front of me. Don't get in front of me just because I'm on a cruiser. Oh my God, what? Nobody has any need for that much damn torque. What in the hell? Oh my God. Hey, enough of that kind of crap. I've ridden a Ducati Diavel before. It was actually one of the most popular first rides. That bike did not have near what the torque feels like on this bike. Or if it did, it delivered it in a totally different way. My mirror fell! Oh snap! My GoPro even fell down! The torque is too strong. Alright, let's be serious. Wind resistance ain't none. There is no wind resistance here. I am getting the full hit of the wind on my chest, and I'm just holding on for dear life. Let's see if we can do the cruise control. Oh God, that's so weird. Okay, so we got cruise control. You push the on button, you push the set button, and suddenly you're chilling. Granted, you're still getting a ton of wind on you. I assume the second I touch the brakes, which are ridiculous Brimbos, and the bike disengages, cruise control, and I'm back in control. Dude, this is totally the cruiser if you wanted a sport bike, but you like your feet in front of you, oh my gosh. This is your bike. This is legit your bike. All right, hold on. I want to check something real quick. I want to stay in sport, but I want to see if I can go to closed throttle. And I'm on touring. Perfect. That's fine. That's fine. My voice cracked. There's so much wind on the highway, I can't even. You're pathetic. You are making this engine look bad. The bike, when it is in sport mode, it needs to be ridden fast. That is just how this bike is. Oh, those people stopped. Good, because we're getting all the way over. Dude, this is the cruiser you can ride like a sport bike, and you get rewarded. Is that mirror's gonna fall off. The bike's turning radius like the other one, garbage. God! Who needs turning radius when you have that much torque? This is 100% the sport cruiser. Oh, them Brembo brakes, my God. This is a big old bike. Those brakes did well. Let's get in this lane. You can have good mirrors if you're going to put this much torque in a bike. They better be ready. These mirrors were not ready at all. You know, the first Diavel I rode, it was all right. I mean, it's the best cruiser I've ever ridden. But this is a whole new ball game, man. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes. You know, you can give a bike a lot of torque, and that doesn't mean it's going to be a fun bike to ride. That just means it's really torquey. The torque has to be put on in a fun way. Like, the power has to be given to you in a way where you can use it. This bike gives you the power. Oh my God! What? The front wheel just doesn't care. I will say, that is terrifying. This bike's weight is way up here. I'm way back here. But there is so much power in the engine to the back wheel that it's just like, yeah. And I'm like, no. Alright, I'm going to try to talk serious about this bike, because ideally you guys are watching this thinking you might want a Ducati, and I want to know what Chase thinks about the Ducati XDiavel S. So I've already talked about the seat. It's super comfortable. When I'm stopped here, the seat has little indentions. Hello, sir. The seat has indentions where my legs fit in really well. So at a stop and when we're going, the seat's fantastic. It seems a little hard, but it feels great. I don't like the body position. This is not a sport bike riding position. Your legs, I mean, you can see my feet. You know, you can see that little thing poking up from a freaking shoe. Like, totally different body position. And the bike feels so much, it feels like I'm supposed to ride it with two hands on the handlebars, leaned up. You know, like in an aggressive position. The bike doesn't feel right riding like this. My back doesn't really know what to do, but as soon as I get like this, I'm like, oh, okay, gotcha. That feels, everything of the bike feels right when I'm in that kind of position. As far as handlebars, they are wide, and this is a thick handlebar. I mean, helps you control the thing. I like the way the instrument panel is. I like the information I'm given. Everything's like obvious. It looks like this bike has Bluetooth, so hypothetically you could connect your smartphone to it. I don't know if there's like a Ducati app. This bike also looks like a beast. The engine is just like all exposed and just out there. So the tail really thin. It gives the bike a much sportier feel and look. I like it a lot. The other Diavel seemed big, and I mean they're both big, but the other one seemed big and the tail did not help. The new tail on this one helps out a lot. I cannot believe how quick this thing is, man. And I feel like I gave the other Ducati Diavel a good bit of gas, and it still didn't bite back as hard as this one does. This is insane. As far as maneuverability, man, Just like that other Diavel, they are whales. You know, with the handlebar being way up here, your tire being much farther ahead of you, you know, you're getting around tight spaces is sketch. You're not going to have a good turning radius. But back to the maneuverability, when you're in slow speed maneuvering, that's when the bike is going to be really wonky. The bike is not graceful when you're slowly moving it around, is basically what I'm saying. I'm going to go on this road a little slow because, I mean, it should be obvious, but when you ride bikes that have sport mode slow, the bikes feel real twitchy. So I'm curious, on a sport mode, just chilling. Alright, so that's slight throttle modulation. That actually does not feel as bad as the Monster did. The Monster, when you had that thing going slow, it was just like, it did not like that at all. I mean, granted, if I gave it a shit ton of throttle and I only had one hand on the bar, I'd be back there and the bike would keep going. My gosh, man, I love the way this thing gives you the power. It's not as snatchy as like an FZ09, because if you guys have seen my FZ09 video, you know that that bike has a ton of torque, but it gives it to you just like you're hitting a fly, like everything, all the power, one time. Hitting a fly was like the I honestly don't know what I meant by hitting a fly. Yeah, but I like the way the torque is delivered on this bike. It feels usable. Like, I feel like I can use this thing. Maybe that's because of the belt-driven motor. Whatever it is, man, it feels really good. I really like that a lot. And I'm pretty sure I've only ridden one other belt-driven bike. Playing around on the road, going back and forth, you would not expect to be able to do this on a cruiser. Or at least I wouldn't. I don't ride a cruiser very often. I've only ridden a couple in my life. But I wouldn't expect to have this kind of ease of back and forthness. And those wide handlebars, I feel like I got control when I'm going. This is only when I'm going. When I'm stopped, God, I'm like, One thing that's interesting about this bike is it's not very loud. And when you're sitting there revving it, it seems a lot louder when you're sitting there listening to it. But when you're on the bike, it sounds good then, you know, when you give it a ton of gas, but otherwise it's kind of petite. It doesn't have a real big roar as far as the rider is concerned. Sitting next to it, revving it up, now it sounds loud then. I like the rider position. Like, I don't like the lean backness, but as far as my waist goes and holding onto the tank, you would need some tank grips because this is really slippery with your legs. But I like the position. I like the shape of it. I feel like I can grip the bike well, and that's really good because with your legs up front, you don't have as much control when you get thrown back when the engine is really revved up. As far as height wise, hopefully you guys can see how bent my legs are. We're pretty low to the ground. I'm gonna see if I can stand up. Now, if you try to stand up on this bike, suddenly your leg gets next to the exhaust and all this kind of stuff. Wouldn't recommend standing up on it. But for shorter riders, you should be totally fine. You don't really hear anything on this bike until you give it some gas and the Monster starts coming out a little bit. See what I'm talking about? Blinker is, again, similar to that Monster I rode the other day. Just doesn't really, it's not really clicky. I don't ever know if I've really turned the blinker on until the little sign, a little indicator comes up. God, come on, neutral. Nope. Second. Nope. First. Nope. Neutral. There we go. All right, so now I've got gloves on. How the hell? Dude, I don't. That worked. Okay, here's your strategy to turn the bike off. Just, ladies and gentlemen, here we have the 2016 XDiavel S. We've got this little, I guess this is for a passenger. So that's your bike. It's mostly black, got some like chromy accent, like metal-y accent. I'm not really a big fan of that yellow shock. I don't really feel like it goes. It needs to be like red or something. The headlight's real cool. Check the headlight out. Yeah, see? It's like kind of a LED looking type situation, and that badging is badass. Okay, hold on. We got to turn the bike off again. You can see how low it is. If we come over here, you can see how low to the ground you're sitting. Like, look at the seat and look at the tail. So much thinner. The old tail used to be like this wide and come out to here and then just cut off. So much better at the tail. I think the lights are relatively similar though. One thing I appreciate, I wouldn't want to keep this, I don't think, but this is your license plate. So they've got it coming around the swing arm, which is single-sided, by the way. Single-sided, by the way. It pops out and goes to there. So it helps with the tail, stock-wise. The swing arm might be single-sided, but there's a lot of stuff going on. I think it would look so much better if you didn't have that guard. Obviously, you got to have the guard for, like, the belt going around. Actually, here you go, you can see the belt driven and all that kind of stuff. So instead of a chain, it's got that belt, which, if I remember correctly, is less maintenance overall. The exhaust look good. They look a little big. I'm sure some aftermarket exhaust would look fantastic with this, but you can see the big chrome and black situation going on. And that's it, man. The 2016 XDiavel S. You got them Brembo brakes that work legit. Alright guys, so as usual, we're going to get this thing cranked up and let you hear it here. Of course, if you want to hear the bike a little bit better at how it actually sounds and some nice photos, check out my website, Chaseontwowheels.com. Check out my blog post that I do for every bike that I do a first ride on. Side stand, yes, I know there's a side stand, but... Oh, I hit a button. DPL. Is that the launch control? Here we go. See what I'm talking about? It sounds so much meaner when you're off the bike. Alright, so I hit a DPL button when I was sitting there on the side of it. DPL. I'm going to put DPL on 2. Pull the clutch, engage first gear, open full throttle. Wait, what? Pull the clutch, engage first gear, open full throttle. I'm not going to do that. Dude, no, I don't want to do that. Hell no, I'm not going to do that in a freaking borrowed bike. No? If you guys go check the bike out, by all means, do what the bike tells you. I'm not going to do that because what? In what situation would someone ever be able to do that? Are you taking this to a drag strip? In that case, yes. But you guys can see when I revved it up, the bike sounds way louder off the bike, right? I'm not really sure what it is. Maybe they just have it to where the noise just goes out of the bike instead of like being loud for the rider. Can you even kind of imagine, like, you're sitting at a red light and like some douchebag drives up next to you and he's like, hey man, you want to race? And you're like, LOL JK, yeah. And then you're over here like clicking modes and you see the light turning yellow. You click it into that mode and you're like, you ready? You would leave him so fast. Granted, your back would probably like bend in with all of the force. Alright guys, so what is my opinion on the Ducati XDiavel S? I think it is by far, I know it is by far the best cruiser bike I have ever ridden. I have had more fun on this cruiser than I have on any other real cruiser that I've ridden. I feel like this bike is made for the guy who likes the body positioning of a cruiser but wants that power and that fun of a super sport, because this is legitimately a marrying of both of those type of motorcycles. I see this bike as being like your one bike because you can go have fun in it. It has that level of an engine to where you can go be an idiot on the highway. I feel like it has plenty of lean capability to take it to the mountains and really go crazy with it. You know, you've got all types of rider modes and traction control and ABS and freaking launch control. Like you could legit race a GTR with this thing. It wouldn't have launch control. That's awesome. You got cruise control. If I was going to do more highway stuff, I would have to figure out some sort of like windshield situation, because there is a lot of wind on your chest, which is going to fatigue you over time, especially on a long trip. This bike would be fantastic for commuting. Are you kidding me? You would just be riding a roller coaster to work every single day. Now granted guys, this bike is expensive. Not only are you paying that Ducati price, but this is also an upper bike in their line, so you're not going to come out of the dealership not paying much. But other than that crappy mirror, this bike feels really well put together, and I honestly did not expect to like it this much, but this has been absolutely phenomenal. The way it gives you all of that power is fantastic, and I love having a really powerful engine and having rider modes, so that, you know, if it's raining or I'm tired or I've had a long day and I don't want to have sport mode on the way home from work or something, I want to be able to not have to worry about my throttle too much. I can put it in urban mode, and you know, then on the weekends when I want to be stupid, I can put it in sport mode and get to do stuff like this, and then run into the back of a white truck, because that's fun. And guys, if you've had a good time watching this video, let me know by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel if you like this type of content. Big shout out to Mountain Motorsports. They're the guys that let me borrow all of these awesome bikes and ride them for the first time, so I can let you guys know how it is, so you can make a better informed buying decision, or to help you out and know what you need to go test ride at your local dealership. And guys, I am Chaseontwowheels. This has been a Chaseontwowheels first ride of the 2016 Ducati Diavel Diavel X, wherever they want to put the X. I appreciate you guys spending some time with me, but I have got to give this monster back. Just kidding, it's a Diavel, not a monster. And I will see you guys in the next video, that will be on a Tuesday or Friday, because that's when I put my videos out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later. Have you guys ever seen the videos of the, like, Japanese, I think it is, police force on like really big bikes, but they maneuver them around really well? I imagine that's what somebody's gonna link me to, with somebody with an XDiavel going real crazy slow speed. I bet that's what's gonna happen.